Hello, this is a Bechstein Model 2 upright piano that's 136 centimeters tall, made in 1900. The casework is practically perfect, and it's what we call faded rosewood. Rosewood's a darker colour and fades with light, and faded rosewood's probably more popular than the original dark rosewood colour. The colour's very integral, it's faded evenly right throughout. And there's the other side of the piano with beautiful rosewood veneer. Rosewood's always been very popular, and at this age of piano is very commonly rosewood. On the top lid also you can see the great contrast in the grain colour that rosewood offers. And on the inside of the lid and round the top here you can see what the original colour was. If you sand down rosewood it becomes much darker, and you can see where they've taken the sconces off here. That's happened. So inside the piano there's a Harrods label, and that tells us that approximately, according to our records, it was sold in about 1963, and of course that was a reconditioned or fully restored piano at that time. Harrods did sell after the war a lot of pianos that weren't new. It's very, very common. So they had a workshop in Trevor Place, which is the other side of the main road, and apparently they used to have a tunnel underneath the main road to take the pianos from the Trevor Place to Harrods. That was told by somebody who worked there, that information, so it's really, really helpful, that information. We've restrung the piano. The string makers achieved a beautiful string line on the copper strings, and the soundboard is perfect. And we've replaced the tuning block. I've mentioned many times the importance of replacing tuning blocks on pianos pre-1902. This is a model 1 to 5, in Roman numerals 1 to 5. So this is model 3, and definitely it needed it. The tuning pins were bigger, but even if you put larger tuning pins in, the rest blank behind doesn't hold. So this now has a new rest blank, just like a new piano now. So in terms of tuning and so on, it's going to be just as good as a new piano. Hold tuning very accurately indeed. So that we're really pleased to have done that, because it's a really beautiful piano. If we look at the rest of the piano, the hammers are in good condition. There's not a huge amount of wear on them, and you can see the dampers and hammer have been replaced, so that work's been done as well. And the regulation has been finely adjusted too. The dampers are pulling off the right amount, and the hammers are travelling the right amount towards the string, about halfway before the damper pulls off. We've also replaced the tapes. If you want to lubricate the jacks, then you need to replace the tapes, and so we've replaced all the tapes on this piano. The old tapes, if you try and take them off, usually fall to bits, but if you do moisten them first, sometimes they don't moisten them with soap, but you can do that, and that does work sometimes, but very often they break here. So we replaced all these tapes, and these are leather end tapes as well. The Keytops are perfect ivories, 88 keys, and really as perfect as you get the ivory on any piano. So for the age of piano, it's remarkable. It has the typical mellow tone of the older pianos. That's C above middle C, C52. An equally beautiful tenor area. This is middle C here. Of course the bass is really rich. So the piano came into us well restored, though the rest blank needed replacing. The tuning pins weren't holding. That's so common, even when they put new larger tuning pins in, they're still not holding. The rest blank's faulty, so we had to replace the rest blank, and therefore restringing the piano, checking the soundboard, etc. This is 1900. Shortly after that, 1902, the piano was remodeled completely, and the Model 2 became the Model 7, and the Model 7 doesn't have the same problem with the rest blank. So that's quite important to know, and we've mentioned many times before. So the touch on the piano is good. So I say it was well restored, and the touch is good. So 52 grams, 54, 40, that's the kind of variation that we would accept. We'll obviously double check everything, and we need to fine regulate the piano. It was sold by Harrods in 1963. We did wonder if 63, we've had a look at the other Harrods numbers that we've got, and that may well be that they put the year of sale or year of restoration as the Harrods number. Not sure about that, but if you're in the trade and know the answer to that. But we have had somebody who worked in Harrods give us a lot of information, and Harrods himself was in contact with us for a while as well, telling us the details on each piano. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll just compare this with with other pianos that we have in stock. This is a 1924 Model 8 Bechstein. And this is a Yamaha U3 1971. So that's a Bechstein Model 3 upright piano, made in 1900, 136 centimeters tall. And I expect you detected, listening to the recording of the other pianos, that this is the mellowest. So generally speaking, older pianos are mellower. There are exceptions, but generally older pianos are mellower. So if you want a mellow piano, the best option usually is to go for an older one. And it does sing beautifully, and the touch, as Bechstein touch we mentioned before, is to me the best touch. And even the older Bechsteins just have a brilliant touch. Of course they have to be restored properly, and this one certainly feels beautiful to play. If you're interested in the piano, please do write to robertspianos@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening.
you.